Hello, my name is Wendell. On September 11th, 2011, I partook in the day of mourning in New York, the 10th anniversary of 9/11, 2001. Of course, there was a very sad occasion. But before that, I did arrive in New York on September 10th and celebrated the birthdays of two sisters, my cousins, who I met for the very first time, celebrating their birthdays. So it did get off to a very happy start for me. And of course, the next day, the day of mourning, September 11th, 2011. And I woke up and saw the footage on television, saw President Obama down at Ground Zero, and figured I better get on down there and walk from my hotel, the Hotel Pennsylvania, all the way down to Broadway and Warren, and to the lockdown scene. I did know that before leaving St. Louis that it was all going to be for family members on September 11th, 2011. Family members only were going to be able to get to all the way to Ground Zero and the memorial. So it wasn't any surprise to me to only get so far and not be able to go all the way there. And I'm sure anybody who just who knows New York very well knows that I took a very long walk from the Hotel Pennsylvania all the way down to at least Broadway and Warren, the outskirts of Ground Zero, the lockdown. But I didn't mind the walk. It was I was a tourist, so and taking in the sights, basically taking in a whole bunch of tall buildings, and I pretty much just let the cabs pass me up and took a walk on down there. And so I have a lot of footage there in at the lockdown scene, and I had my iPhone 4 to take a lot of the footage, and was able to use the iMovie app to compile this footage into a very nice news-like presentation. So it's been a very helpful tool. And I also went down to Ground Zero all the way as far as I could go on September 12th, 2011. And you'll see some footage there, yeah, even closer. But I still didn't get all the way to the memorials, the memorial fountain and all that. Uh, you had to have tickets way in advance from 911memorial.org. And when you have the whole country trying to get the tickets, it's just difficult to get those. And of course, I did get to Washington D.C. also for the Pentagon Memorial, and a very somber scene there in Washington D.C. with their memorial. And I do want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out and give props to the operation known as Bolt Bus, Boltbus, Bolt Bus. They run buses from New York to Boston to Maryland to Washington, D.C., and I think a couple of other surrounding areas. And so if you really do want to make that trip to see both memorials and to do it economically, definitely well in advance get on boltbus.com and see when you can get from New York to Washington, D.C., and you can make the trip very economically if you do it well in advance. Look on the website there, boltbus.com. And also, registering actually does make it easier. So you can, because actually when I did it, I was very early and the trips weren't showing when I was going to be in New York. At the time that I was going to be in New York, the Bolt Bus schedule wasn't available to Washington, D.C. But as the time got closer, I kept getting on to boltbus.com and finally got a schedule and a very economical price. I actually went from, it takes about a 4-hour trip from New York to Washington D.C., maybe 3.5 hours. So for me, it was a For me, at the time I got in, it was around $33 round trip from New York to Washington D.C. back to New York. So worked out very well. And so by the time I went back to New York a week later, um, I was able to be a complete tourist, So it was very nice. So back to the memorial and the footage I have here. Just take in mind that this is my dedication to the family members and everyone else who lost so many in the travesty, the tragedy of September 11th, 2001. It's my dedication to the soldiers also who fought in the wars that started from this event. So please keep that in mind as you watch my videos. And as the stone says at the Pentagon Memorial, we will never forget.